What's going on, everyone? So we're all anxiously waiting around at this draft to see if the Los Angeles Lakers make any type of trades, any type of moves, any type of movement, period. And thus far, there hasn't been anything on the Lakers front, but we're all kind of keeping an eye on what teams end up drafting centers, because depending on the teams that end up drafting centers could open the door for the Los Angeles Lakers. And there are a couple teams that I definitely want to talk about centers in the coming days. We'll see what ends up happening as we move through tonight, and then also tomorrow when the Lakers will actually have a pick. Obviously it would have been nice to see if the Lakers would have been able to trade into Cayman Malic. Mark Williams ended up getting traded to the Phoenix Suns, and it's just Lakers need a center, and you're watching all these teams just load up on centers, and it's like, can the Lakers just get one? Can we just get a scrap here, right? We just need something, right? Like, other than just Clint Capella. But one of the things that was very surprising that just happened in this draft was the Portland Trailblazers pulled off a trade, and they ended up trading back the 16th pick. And with that 16th pick, they ended up drafting Yane Hansen, which is surprising. Gifted center, guy that many people think has real star potential in this league, could be something special, right? The thing about it, though, is Portland has Donovan Clegan, who was very good for them last year, especially towards the end of the year, who was supposed to be their franchise center, so that's weird. I wonder how that's going to work. But also have DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams III, two centers that have been heavily linked to the Lakers recently. DeAndre Ayton, a lot of Laker fans really want. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't hate it. If you told me tomorrow the Lakers, or later tonight, the Lakers end up trading for DeAndre Ayton, I would not be upset at all, right? I do think he's a guy that has a lot of still untapped potential. I think there is a version of him that is a legit 20-10 center. I mean, we saw that in Phoenix. I think he's a guy that, as like your fourth option, could maybe really do some damage, really make some noise. Maybe he just needs kind of that change of scenery. All the outside noise, all the stuff that was going on in Phoenix, to his credit, has done a really good job of, kind of keeping to himself, right? Because he was a guy that was just like, man, can this guy get out of his own way? If he can get out of his own way, he has potential to be great. You look at DeAndre Ayton, and it's like, okay, maybe if he goes to a team with the Lakers, he's playing on a real contending team once again. Top of that, playing alongside a LeBron James, playing alongside a JJ Redick. Those two aren't going to take any noise, ain't going to take any nonsense. And, he's low risk, high reward if you can get him cheap enough, right? That's the key, is what does it cost you to go and trade for him? But if you can acquire him cheap enough, then that could put you in an interesting position, because if it works, great, you can sign him to a new contract, and he's probably not getting anywhere close to what he's currently getting. And if it doesn't work, you can just let him go, especially if you didn't sell the farm to go get him. Kind of just let him go, and then kind of take it from there and free up the salary space, and then LeBron's contract could fall off, and you could have some other contracts fall off, kind of retool in the 2026 offseason. Just kind of a thought. Obviously, love it the Lakers get a franchise guy. DeAndre Ayton's also still very young, right? He's a guy that is still 26. He'll be 27 next month. So he's still very young, could be part of the core and foundation. He could be your starting center for the next 6+ years, right? Which would be very beneficial to the Lakers. You look at last year, he was a 15, we'll round up, because he was a 14 and some change, 15, 10, 2 guy, 56.6% shooting, right? Guy that can rebound. Defensively, he's not really great. He's had moments, he has stretches. To him, it's more about the motor and effort, right? He's one of those guys that just doesn't have the motor at times, and doesn't seem like he gives you the effort at times. If he can just give you that and kind of lock in and hone in, which is why if you're going to trade for him, it's gotta, you can't give anything of true value, right? It's got to be something that you could justify and is understandable. The other option is Robert Williams III. My problem with Robert Williams III, and we've gotten several reports that the Lakers have actually talked to Portland and has touched base and discussed a potential trade of Robert Williams III, that they are looking to maybe try to acquire him in some capacity. But I don't see him as your starting center. right? I don't think he can be your starter because the guy can't give you more than 30 games. And that's my problem. That's where my dilemma lies. Right? Like, he is, I mean, you want to talk about what we need as far as like physicality, toughness, just an absolute wrecking ball on the inside, rebound, defend, right? Just basically be a defensive anchor piece on the inside and just give you some of that physicality and toughness on the inside. Robert Williams is excellent, right? Robert Williams would be beautiful. But the problem is, again, the guy can't stay healthy. The guy can't stay on the basketball court. So, I don't hate if the Lakers go and land Robert Williams, but you still need to go get that clear-cut starter, right? Because if you told me Robert Williams is our starter, I'm not going to be happy about it. Right? Even if you went and got like a Clint Capella, at that point, you might as well have Clint Capella start and then have Robert Williams come off the bench. But if you told me, hey, Robert Williams is the guy, our primary backup big, beautiful, right? Give him, 15 to 20 minutes a night. Let him, on random nights here and there, he could be the starter, all of that. Perfect, right? But if you're looking for him to be your kind of stability at the center position, I get he's 27, he'll be 28 next season, so you kind of look at it as like he could be a guy for the next handful of years because of his age. He's a guy that just, he can't stay healthy, right? You look at his like per 36 is like insane. It's like a 15 and 15 with like 4 blocks. Like, it's almost like video game numbers, but that's the problem. You can't give him too many minutes. When he plays, he's incredible, but it has to be in a limited role. Now, theoretically, could the Lakers maybe go get both? Because again, and kind of let them go with, Clegan and Hansen. Is that a possibility? I mean, technically, yes. So you look at Robert Williams, he's making $13.2 million. Let's call it $14 million, because you got to keep in mind, Lakers have to send out more money than they take back. The real issue is DeAndre Ayton's contract, right? Ayton's the one that's making so much money. But he is, again, on expire. Both guys are actually on expiring, so you can work it out and give him new deals. But he's making 35, let's call it 36 million. So you're talking 50 million in salary to land both guys. For those that are like, well, why don't we go get both? Right? So 50 million, Lakers aren't going to trade Austin Reeves, so you're talking Rui, 18.5 million. Gabe Vincent would be 11.5 million. So that gets you, 30 million, right? So you still need another 20 million. You could do like Maxi Kleba. You'd have to do Jared Vanderbilt in the deal, right? So if you could do something like that where you're doing like a 4-for-2 swap, sure, then that could get it done. And now you could get him and still have Austin Reeves and stuff. But the problem is Lakers still have other needs, right? Particularly, there's all the talks about Andrew Wiggins and the Lakers, being a team that is working on potentially trying to trade Andrew Wiggins, or trading for Andrew Wiggins. Supposedly the holdup is that Miami wants a first-round pick. Lakers are like, absolutely not, because they would do Rui and likely Gabe Vincent. It's Rui and then one of Gabe Vincent or Maxi Kleba, but I would imagine Miami would want Gabe Vincent back because he was really good for them, is comfortable and familiar there, all that stuff, so they kind of want to get off the salary. I did a whole video on the Andrew Wiggins situation, so if you want more details on the Andrew Wiggins situation inside of things, go check out that video. But, if I had to choose between the two, I would take DeAndre Ayton, right? Just because, again, the upside is so much higher, and both guys aren't, like, super known for health, right, is the other thing. I know Portland was, like, a tanking team, and they sat guys, so, like, the 40 games is a little misleading with him. But even you look at the years in Phoenix, he had a 38-game season, 69 is fine, 58, 67. If he's giving you like 65 to 70 games a year, then fine. Look, at the end of the day, he is much more healthier than Robert Williams. So if I had to choose between the two, give me DeAndre Ayton. But my problem with Ayton, again, it's 35 million, right? So let's say you're going to go trade Rui and Gabe Vincent to go get Andrew Wiggins, right? Because the Lakers still need a 3 and D Wayne, even if they get Ayton, right? So you're talking Rui and now to go get Ayton, right? So you're doing Maxi Kleba and Jared Vanderbilt. That only gets you to 21 million for those two, right? So again, it's tough to get there, especially if you're not trading Austin Reeves. So do you go get Ayton and then not get a Andrew Wiggins, and then maybe, I don't know, go try to get a Terrence Mann who's making $15 million, because then you could do Rui, and, because even then, let's say Rui, Gabe Vincent gets you to $30 million, you could do Shake Milton. I mean, you'd have to throw in, let's say you had to do Dalton Connect, right? So you could do those three. Okay, maybe you throw in Shake Milton, have them help you clear off a little salary for doing you the favor, sure. But then you only have basically $15 million. So maybe go get a Terrence Mann. So you're looking at like a Terrence Mann and DeAndre Ayton. I'm not super sold on the Portland idea personally, as far as the center position goes, unless, if Lakers were to go land, a center or two and then end up, trading for DeAndre Ayton or, Robert Williams as your backup. There we go. Then I'd be more than happy with that. But personally, I think they should stay away and look at some of the other centers that we'll talk about here in some of the later videos tomorrow. I want to kind of wait and see how the draft continues to shape up before I dive into like, hey, what about this team and that team and all that stuff. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It helps me out. So enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.